1996 Toyota Camry with the 2.2 inline 4-cylinder engine. Today we're going to be replacing the valve cover gasket, spark plug, and the spark plug wires. But mainly this video is going to be about the valve cover gasket. And for this job, we'll be using the Felt Pro Victor Sierra 50304 Romeo-1 valve cover gasket set. Let's get to it. All right, first things first, go ahead and remove our spark plug wires. And these lengths should all be different, so we shouldn't have any issues with knowing where they go after this repair. Let's go ahead and get this PVC hose off of here if we can. This hose is kind of swollen, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. And it seems very brittle too. I might disconnect it from the actual intake before trying to do it down here, because this whole plastic piece feels pretty brittle and I don't want to break it. Nice. And we can just rotate that around, get it out of the way. We can also remove this plastic tubing right here, or rubber tubing. Nice and gently. Give it a wiggle until it pops off. Don't force anything. This is a old car. I'm going to try to do this without breaking any of these old plastic pieces. Next, we need to go ahead and, actually this is kind of loose already, but normally this will probably give you some troubles. And if it does, you can disconnect it from your alternator here. Just make sure you unplug your battery terminal, or else this ground right, or I'm sorry, this positive feed right here is gonna arc if it touches anything metal, and you don't want that. And this line down here, you can just pull the tabs off and undo it right here, but I think we're gonna be okay with this, because this is giving me enough space to pull this up, so I'm not gonna have to worry about that. Make sure there's nothing else I'm forgetting. Nope, everything else looks good. And these big nuts that are going right over your spark plug valleys, they are 30 millimeters. And it looks like there's a 10 millimeter right here that's supposed to hold something, but mine is broken. So I don't know what's supposed to go there. Maybe it's supposed to be some kind of like a wire guide for the spark plug wires, but it doesn't look like that's gonna be an issue for this vehicle. But if it is for yours, apologize. I'm gonna get myself a small little pry bar. I'm gonna put it between the valve cover and the top of the head. I'm just gonna try to give it just a little bit of, there it goes, assistance, I guess I could call it. And with this valve cover, you're gonna need to pull it straight up to clear these valve cover valleys. All right, got the valve cover right here. We can just go ahead, wow, this pop up really easy. Go ahead and remove your old spark plug valley. Gaskets. I don't feel like those should pop up that easy, but whatever, they are, so that's what we're doing. Go ahead and flip it over. Might be be able to get this with a flathead. If not, I might have to go get a pick. No, I got it. Go ahead and remove our old valve cover gasket. And we're gonna give this a wash real quick. Get ourselves a can of brake clean. Come in here. We're gonna spray down, especially right where this gasket is gonna be sealing. And I'm gonna come in here and give the rest of this just a wash. Just a quick one, so we can get a bunch of that crap out. And I know we're really close with the camera, so let me back this up a wee bit. And adjust that. And I'm gonna spray down the outside too. While I am a mechanic, I don't necessarily enjoy touching dirty things. And I always like these things to look nice. They sit right on top of the engine, so when the customer pops that hood open, they're gonna see that nice shiny valve cover sitting there, and they'll be like, oh man, he actually did something with it. Come back in here. One last spray around. We've got some RTV right in here. We're gonna make sure that this gets out. We don't want that to be in the way of our new gasket. There we go. Give that a couple minutes to dry. We'll be right back. And while we're waiting for that valve cover to go ahead and dry, let's come in here and we're gonna spray outwards, because if you spray inwards, any dirt that's right here is gonna go into the engine. We want that stuff to spray outwards, so just do your best to make that happen. There we go. And then we're gonna come in here with a blue shop rag or whatever you got. Microfiber rag does a really good job too. We're gonna take care to clean this up. Make sure there's no gunk or anything else. You can see right here we have some black RTV, and we're going to need to put RTV down here too, some more black RTV to help seal this valve cover. Let me get these punch hole needles out of here. And we're going to get our tube of black RTV, and we're going to be hitting these spots with it. So right here, you can see that there's a cracks for where the camshaft will go in. We need to put RTV here, here, and then right here on these big lobe areas where it's like a 90-degree turn, we need to put a little bit of RTV there to assist the valve cover gasket with sealing. And it's going to be the same thing on this side, here, here, and then on both sides of where this cam lobe is. Come in here, we're just going to put a dot, put a dot, put a dot, and we're on the back. Let's put some on our finger real quick. And we're just going to put that down in there. Put that down in there. Dot, dot, and a dot. And we're done. I'm gonna go ahead and get the valve cover gasket set. You're gonna want to put the valve cover on within about 10 minutes. This stuff will start curing, and you definitely want to make sure the valve cover's on there before it gets hard. And when you're putting your valve cover gasket in, you don't want to run your fingers to get them in, because you'll actually end up stretching it. And when you get to the corners, you'll end up having it overlapping like this. And you don't want that. So you're just gonna put it in there right where it's supposed to go. You're gonna tap it straight in, and you're just gonna work your way around. we go. Let's go ahead and put our valve cover on. Oh, that just popped off when I... whatever. Of course it did. Valve cover's on and where it's supposed to be. Let's go ahead and put our oil valley gaskets where they need to be. And these literally just sitting here. And then they're tightened down by your giant spark plug valley bolts. I don't like the way that felt. Back that off real quick. There it goes. I like that. Just going to start each of these just a few turns. And then when we put these down, we're going to start from the inside. So we're going to be applying force directly to the center of the engine. So we'll start here, then go here, here, and here to finish them off. Now I'm just using these to put them down. I'm not doing anything crazy. Come back in here with the standard wrench and put these down good and tight, nothing crazy, just until we get that good amount of resistance with 2-finger technique. That's when you go like this, and we're just going to put this down until it feels right. And there's going to be a bunch of people like, oh, where are the torque specs? I don't know, look them up. It's hard for me to put that stuff on the internet, because then it becomes a liability. If it's the wrong torque spec, if the torque specs change, which they do tend to change, especially as vehicles get older. So companies go in there and they change them, but my video stays the same forever. So I've been doing this for 20 years. I know it feels good. If you want the torque specs, look them up yourself, so that way it's not my liability. After that, we'll go ahead and put our hose back on, which decided to pop off in the last bit for whatever reason. I don't know why it did that. I'm going to put this hose back on. Yeah. Go ahead and slide our hose clamp back up, and we're golden. Go ahead and put your spark plug wires back in. I'm actually going to be replacing the spark plugs and the wires on these, so if you guys want to keep watching for that, go ahead. I'm not really going to do a whole lot of documentary on that because they're right there. It could not be simpler to do these spark plugs. And for this, I'm basically just going to be using a 5/8 deep socket with a 6-inch extension, that looks like. He's got Bosch, he's got NGKs. He's got like 3 different types of spark plugs in here. That's odd. Anyway. And of course I recommend NGKs. Any brand of NGK is a good one. When you put these in, you want to kind of guide them down with your finger down to the valley. Because if this hits the cylinder head and it closes this gap even a little bit, you could end up having a misfire. So you don't want to just drop them in there. You want to get your index finger like this, press it up against the wall of the spark plug valley, and gently guide it down. You're not going to go all the way, but it just makes it a lot less likely that you're going to do damage to that brand new spark plug. Because I like fixing things just one time, personally. And when doing your spark plug wires, the best way to do it is just to unplug one, match it up with the same size. These are zip tied right here, so I just gotta cut the zip tie real quick. There we go. Shoot. I'm gonna start with this one. I'm gonna just match it up to whichever one is the same length. As soon as I get these all laid out. And just in case if anybody needs a little bit more help setting up your firing order, your furthest piston, this right here, is technically the front of the engine. This is cylinder 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right here, if you're looking at your distributor cap straight on, would be your bottom left is cylinder 1, top left cylinder 2, bottom right is cylinder 3, and top right is cylinder 4. So just in case anybody needs help with that, I figured I'd go ahead and throw that into the video too. But other than that, if you'd like to see more videos on Toyota Camrys, go ahead and check out that video next. I made that one just for you. And if this video helped you out, leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe. We will see you all next time.